Welcome to Birdseeds. So today's episode, we're going to discuss another song by the same band as last week, American Aquarium. Absolutely had a blast. Unbelievable blast seeing them in the caverns in Pelham, Tennessee, just about an hour and a half outside, southeast of Nashville. So my wife and I went there. I kind of touched on this last episode, but we went there. We spent a day in Nashville doing the honky tonk thing, going to the listening room, listening to some songwriters, having brunch at Pinewood Social. Just an absolute wonderful time. The Johnny Cash Museum, which was just also super awesome. Little known fact about Johnny Cash, I heard this on Mike Rowe's podcast. So he was actually, when he was in the military, he was the first person to decode the Morse code that Joseph Stalin had died, which is pretty cool. The rumor has it that beat that he made out of the Morse code, the rhythm that it made, was the rhythm for Folsom Prison Blues, which is, if that's true, that's awesome. Haven't been able to corroborate that other than his episode, although it is a fact in the museum that he is the one that decoded Joseph Stalin's death first, which is really, really, really neat and interesting. But we had an absolute blast in downtown Nashville, really good time. And after we checked all that out, we drove out to Pelham, Tennessee, about an hour and a half southeast, like I said. Mountain town. Not a whole lot going on. Beautiful, relaxed, chill. But really what we did out there is we went to the Caverns. So the Caverns is a venue. It's a music venue that's below ground in an actual cave. Some of the best sound I've ever heard, up there with Red Rocks. I still say Red Rocks is a little bit better, but man, is it cool. And then we followed up the day after and we went on a tour of the show cavern where we saw the show, but then also the big cavern behind it, which is supposedly the biggest large room cave in the country. Just absolutely unreal. And I mean, all inspiring. I mean, just before we get into the music side of it, just to sit there, as we're doing the tour, they talk about at the mouth of the cave, you can see this big kind of stone archway, and you can see that some of it is really compressed. It's limestone. Some of the limestone is really compressed, and then up above that, it's, just a little bit looser, you can tell. Well, apparently, the compressed part of the limestone was an old seabed. It was apparently called the Mississippi Ocean, according to our tour guide. When the continents moved, it was part of the ocean at that point. And then what made this cave so big and open and special was an underground river. I mean, just talk about awe-inspiring and to realize that we are a flash in the pan in the history, right? Like, we think our time moves so slow, but we are just literally a flash in the pan. It's so insignificant to the history of the earth. It is kind of pretty cool to kind of think about in that, perspective and to realize we care so much about some things, but do they really matter? Probably not. So if you go to my Instagram page, again, it's Joseph_S_bird_realtor. I've got a bunch of pictures and videos posted up from this trip, both from, again, the honky tonk side of thing, as well as the show at the cavern, videos of the bands playing, and then pictures of the big cavern tour afterwards. Encourage you to check it out. It was so cool. So one of the songs I recorded on my phone and put up there was the song we listened to last week, The Harder I Work, The Luckier I Get. Awesome. Please encourage you to listen to it. That one I videotape and I pan around so you can see the whole venue. It's really, really cool. But they open with this song. And I want to take nothing away from the headliner, Murder by Death. What a show. What a show Murder by Death put on. They played their album from 20 years ago, as the 20th anniversary, start to finish, and then they played some other songs. They put on such an amazing, performance and show. They had projectors projecting on the rocks. It was absolutely stunning. Funny aside, so I told my son we were going to this concert in the caves, and he said, "Dad, don't let the devil get you. He lives underground." Well, they start their first song, and they've got a devil projected, like a 1940s style, 1950s style, whatever, devil projected up on the stones. It was pretty fitting and funny. But anyway, they put on a great show, not to take anything away from their performance. Fantastic. But I want to go back to American Aquarium for another song. They played a song. They opened up their set with a song called Lamentation. Well, the song is actually called Me and Mine, parentheses, Lamentation. And it's always been a song that hit me, but it really hit me in this moment, something I'm kind of working on in my personal life. And I'll get into that as we go through these lyrics, but just it's something that kind of in my life I'm really working on not getting as irritated and frustrated with my surroundings and things that I disagree with, and understanding different points of view, and just being more open and calm and generous and things like that. So it's an active process for me. And the song comes on, and it's really talking about that. And it was a pretty shocking opening song. It's really slow. It's really not in your face and builds very slowly. Set the tone for the night 100%. But it's not what you would typically expect a rock band to come out and open their set with, where they're gonna just typically will come out loud and aggressive and in your face and get your attention, especially an opener. But it was cool. It was awesome. Before we jump into it, just want to say, go through the definition of lamentation, right? So according to Merriam-Webster, lamentation, an expression of sorrow, mourning, or regret, an act or an instance of lamenting. Okay, it can be a biblical term, as the book of Lamentations, but an expression of sorrow, mourning, or regret. So it's basically just being discontent, right? Expressing discontent. According to Cambridge Dictionary, sadness and feeling sorry, or something that expresses these feelings. Okay, so basically the same thing, slightly different. Sadness or feeling sorry, or something that expresses it. So it's basically an expression of not being happy with where things are. So let's get into these lyrics. And again, this is Me and Mine, or Lamentations by American Aquarium. Starts off super slow. Me and mine have worked this land as long as my grandfather can remember. Plowing soil, digging holes, hauling coal to stripping down the timber. Then they showed up, they shut us down. Same old story, the same old town. And I know a little bit of background about this particular artist and the singer. And, his family's been in the same area in North Carolina for a long time. He's got some songs about growing tobacco. He's got some songs talking about growing some other crops that are illegal down there, but could have lots of benefits. So in this, he's setting the tone of the song. He's basically saying, me and mine, my family, we've worked this land. We've been here. We've done everything for as long as we can remember. Whether it's hauling coal, whether it's plowing, cutting down timber, whatever. But then they showed up and they shut us down. It's the same old story, the same old town. So it's not just them. They're not saying it's just us, we're the victims. It's saying we're all the victims. It's like we don't matter, Mama said. At least that's how it seems. And that's the day I woke up from the American dream. So what he's saying there is they're feeling like they are insignificant to whatever they have as a greater good, whatever their agenda is. They don't care at all about how it affects these people. And I love how it ends there. That's the day I woke up from the American dream. Well, realizing the American dream, we put it on a pedestal. We say what we want this to be, but it really isn't really ever that, right? What are you supposed to do when the God you're praying to up and goes missing, leaves a trail on unpaid bills, broken homes, and opioid addiction? So what are you supposed to do? If you're praying to God and you're praying or you're hoping and you're putting all your faith into something or somebody else saving you, and it doesn't happen, what are you left with? If you put all your faith there and you don't do anything else, what are you left with? You've got bills, marriage is falling apart, and the opioid addiction. Now, I want to take a quick aside. I watched that show, Painkillers on HBO with Matthew Broderick. Wow. What a documentary or a dramamentary or whatever you want to call it. Blown away by it. And it's infuriating and aggravating what was done to people in the name of greed. And I kind of love how that maybe that's why that line caught me. But watch that show. It is quite... I wouldn't say it's inspiring, because it's the opposite of inspiring. It's aggravating, but it does give you a different perspective. And then a politician shows up promising that he'll return the jobs that God himself could not bring back. So here we got a politician just saying what they need to say to get reelected, to get the votes, to do whatever, to be liked. And even God couldn't bring the jobs back because they prayed and prayed and prayed, and it didn't happen. I can get a whole nother tangent here on politics and how frustrated that makes me right now, but I'm trying to do better at that, so let's not. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, that's the day I gave up on the American dream. So he's taking responsibility. He's like, yeah, you fooled us once. Shame on you. You came in, you lied again saying you were going to do it, and you didn't do it. That's my fault for believing you. I knew I shouldn't, and I still did. And that's the day I gave up on the American dream. What a line. So let me get to the chorus. These lamentations are getting too damn hard to sing. These lamentations are going to be the death of me. And this is where it really hit me on my journey. These lamentations are getting too damn hard to sing. They're too real. They mean too much. They affect me too much. And they're going to be the death of me. Like, at the end of the day, if I can't get myself out of the frustration that I feel and experience dealing with circumstances that are out of my control, and I let them affect me so much, it's going to ruin me. It's going to jade me. It's going to take me down a path I don't want to go. And that's something I'm working on, letting go of the things I can't control. I can't change the fact that this is happening, so let me do the best I can with it and not just harp on the fact that it's not fair and it's happening to me. Goes on, you see me and mine, we ain't the kind to sit around idle and complain. We're tough as nails, mean as hell, without an ounce of quit in our veins. But the harder we work, the more they take. To all the good is gone, for goodness sake. I love how he brings that right back. The harder we work, the luckier we get. But now it's saying the harder we work, the more they take. It's not wrong there. Not wrong. The fact that your tax bracket goes up, the more you earn, is exactly that. The more you do, the harder you work, the more they're going to take from you. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And by they, I mean government. So yeah, we're not going to sit around. We're going to fight. But man, it feels like the harder we do it, the more they take, until all the good is gone, for goodness sake. Love this one. And this goes right along with my political views, which I don't like talking about politics, and I'm really in the middle on everything. But neither the left or the right are going to fight for the folks stuck in between, which is the majority of people, right? The way things really are, the American dream. So what is it? What is the American dream? It's the middle. It's the average. The average Joe, you can use that because my name's Joe. That's what the American dream is, right? Moving up the bracket. Starting here, coming to here, going up to here. That's where the American dream lies. But the left or the right's typically going to be on the peripherals there. It's going to be on the top and the bottom, and really the top. Goes back to the chorus. These lamentations are going to be the death of me, and repeats that twice. These lamentations are getting too damn hard to sing. Again, same thing. He's focusing on it. It's just too real, and it's going to be the death of him because he just can't get over it, right? Absolutely love that song. And the way it came out in that venue down in a cave was just it was something special. I hope you go to my page and listen to it. Again, that's Joseph_S_bird_realtor. Let me know what you think of how they played it. That song recorded is also wonderful. It's a great record, great band. If you haven't been out to the caverns, I highly encourage it. Check it out. Look at their shows. What a cool spot. The owners seem like they're just doing it for the right reasons and doing it awesome. They have a outdoor amphitheater up to 6,000 people that they built during COVID when people didn't want to be crammed in the cave. They've got the cave shows. You can do the tours. There's even an expedition tour where it's like a 4-hour adventure tour where you like go in and crawl through with the hat, with the light on your hat and hard hat and all that kind of stuff. Didn't do that part. I did the regular tour and the concert, obviously. But what a cool spot. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've been there. Thanks so much for listening. Birdseeds with Joe Bird. Have a wonderful day.